Alright guys, so today we're going to be looking at composite shapes and how to calculate the surface area of them. So remember, a composite shape just means that we're putting two shapes together to create one shape, one irregular shape. So I'm looking at this picture here and I have a rectangular prism and a square pyramid that have been put together. Now if I'm calculating the surface area, that tells me that I want the outside portion of the shape, just the surface. So when I put these two shapes together, the top of the pyramid, the top of the rectangular prism and the bottom of the pyramid are no longer outside. They become an inside portion of that shape. So when I'm putting two shapes together, I will not include the top base of the prism, and I would not include the bottom square of the pyramid. So now we're going to look at calculating the surface area of these shapes. So I'm going to start with the rectangular prism. And we need the front and the back. So the front of this rectangular prism is 6 by 4. So I'm going to say 6 times 4. That's going to give me 24. Remember, the back is a mirror image, so it's going to be exactly the same. So it's also going to be 6 by 4. All right, the right and left side. So the right is 6 by 4 again, which means the left is going to be the same. Right, and now we need the base, and remember, we're not going to include the top in this, so we just want the base. So the base is 6 by 6. So we would only have 5 measurements for the prism. All right, now looking at the square pyramid, we are only going to include the triangles, because we do not need the bottom portion since that's now inside when we put the two together. So the triangles, base times height divided by 2. So the base is 6, the height is 8, divided by 2 is going to give us 24. And if it is a square pyramid, all 4 triangles are going to be the same. So I can just multiply this by 4, and that's going to give me 96 for the area of the triangles. All right, to get the total surface area, I'm now going to add everything together. And when you add everything together, you should get a total of 228 meters squared. All right, for the next one, we have a rectangular prism and a triangular prism put together. So I'm going to start with the rectangular prism. All right, let's start with the front and back. So the front is 15 by 8. And 15 times 8 is going to give us 120. And the back is going to be the same. All right, the left side and right side. All right, so the left side has a base of 8, and it says that it has a height of 8 on this side. So it's going to be 8 by 8, which is 64. And the right side will also be 64. And then we have the base, or the bottom, which is 8 by 15. All right, again, we're not going to do the top because that is sharing a side with the triangular prism and it's no longer on the outside of the shape. So now we're going to move on to the triangular prism. And we'll go ahead and start with our triangles. All right, so the triangle, it says we have a total height of 15 here. On the side it says 15. And we know that we have 8 here, which means the height of the triangle needs to be 7. The base of the triangle, if this is 8 down here, then this is 8 over here. So we're going to say 8 times 7 divided by 2. And that is going to give us 28. We have a second triangle, which is also going to be 28. And then we have our 2 rectangles here. So the rectangles are on the right and left side, and they are going to be 8 by 15 for the base. So for the rectangles, we have 8 times 15, which is going to give us 120. And then we have the other rectangle on the other side, which is also 8 by 15, which is 120. I'm going to add all of these numbers up, and you should get a total of 728 feet squared. All right, and the last one we're going to look at together, I have 2 rectangular prisms, or really I have a cube and a rectangular prism put together. So let's go ahead and start with the cube. So the cube is 7 by 7. All right, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try this on your own and then press play to see if you get the correct answers. So for the first one, you should have gotten a surface area of 152. And for the second one, you should have gotten a surface area of 110 centimeters squared. If you did not get these correct, look at my work and see if you can figure out what you did wrong or ask me for help.